So welcome back, friends. So today we're gonna tap this hole that I've already drilled. I was showing you on the last video. It's gonna be a 1/2 by 13 thread, and then we're gonna weld the bolt onto the plate today. So I'm gonna try to keep it short. Hope you guys are enjoying your Sunday. I was out back this morning and had 4 deer run through the yard, so that's always pretty cool. You want to make sure you keep this thing straight and vertical till you get it going. Just keep looking this way here and then this way here, and just force it into being straight as you slowly turn it. And don't worry about backing it out until you get it seated in there good, because you really want it straight, because it will go crooked. So that's looking pretty good. This way, this way. Keep it nice and oiled. I'm just using gun oil. It's got that real fine tip on there, so I like using it. You can use any kind of oil, motor oil, anything you want. So it looks pretty good. Do one turn back out and go back in. There should be some really nice adjustable feet on here that'll hold, man, probably 2,000–3,000 pounds. Definitely got a chip hung up in here. You can spray it out with air if you got an air compressor. Spray it as you go. I really don't want to make too much of a mess in here. Just took the tap all the way out and just took the burr off. Put it back in. And once you break through the other side of that 1/2 inch block, it'll just run right in there like a bolt. I don't know if I'm going to spray this, with primer and paint, or if I'll send it to get it, what's that stuff called? Powder coat. It'd probably be $150 to powder coat this. I don't think I want to have that much in it, but hope to be able to pass it down to my son-in-laws or my daughter or somebody. Pretty heavy duty. See, when you break through to the other side, it finished those threads right out. If you wanted to, you could take a counter tap and countersink that and then start your tap, or you could even do it after, and it gives you a real nice lead in. But once we get it going, it's never coming back out. Not unless we have to chase the threads if it gets boogered up in the future. That's it. You can spray your threads out so that there's nothing in there. Here's my 1/2 13 bolt, and I put a little chamfer on it, so when I weld it on the plate, it gives it something for the weld to go into that screws in there just like normal. That's going to come out real nice. So here's the plate. I put a center scribe around it. See that? So we'll weld that around there. I'll probably use 1/16 wire. Because you really want to watch your heat. You don't want that to pull up and then this only be touching on 2 points here. So you really want to try to not get that too hot. You want to keep that flat as you can. Turn my welder on. All right. So I've already found the center point to this plate. So once again, you want your bolt, set it right in there. Make sure that you got it in the circle all the way. We're going to put a tack on each side, try to keep it flat. Lift it up about 40 thousandths. So I can't get it to go down, so there's 2 tricks you could do. You could heat this back up, and then you could pull it back down, and it might stay, it might not. Then I'll show you another trick. So you reheat your tack, you pull it back down, so now we're flat. We'll go 180 across, which is the other side. Put another tack. Go 90 degrees, tack it. So now we're good and flat and we're straight. Looks good. What I was going to tell you is if you didn't heat that tack up and you had this gap here, well, you'd almost have to go back and reheat that, try to pull it down, and then quickly go to the other side before it pulls and tack it. Or you could reheat that and put a little bit of a gap on the first side, about 40 thousandths, and then go to the other side and it'll pull up to being straight. Even though it has a gap underneath, it's all still the same, if you understand that. So now we got 4 tacks on here, and it should be, I'll put a little bead on here. Like I said, you're going to try to keep the heat down. You don't want to warp this plate. So make it just a small weld. It's not really holding anything. You could put up 4 tacks on there and it'll stay forever. So weld it there and weld it across. And I'm going to let that cool down. I'll show you what I did. I'm going to let that cool down. I don't want that to get too hot. I don't want to warp that plate. So there's about a 1/2 inch weld right straight across. There's a 1/2 inch weld. So we'll let that cool down before we weld any more on that, but here's what it's going to look like. Ooh, now put your finger there in the center. Ta-da! Got a little wobble to it. I don't like that. So in that case, get it down. And see, it's got that gap in there. I really didn't want it to go all the way in. I think it looks cool when it sits off the floor. It's got that nice pad under there. It's got the gap, you know. I think it looks good. So, we'd have to get all 4 of these done to see what it looks like while it's on the floor. But also, you could probably knock it around. Not too hard, but see where the high spot is. You see it. So, it looks like it's a little out, but when we put the padding on, you could even get a padding that mashes even more, you know, so it'll compensate for that, you know, whatever that's out. On our next one, we might, I don't want to do that. Might just put 1 tack on there and let it rotate and then see where it needs to come up at and then tack it where we do the adjustment. So I'll show you how to do that. We're going to put this one, oh, that's probably screwed up. Let's make this 2 5/8. Now we're going to go ahead and put 1 tack on here, and I've already tapped this hole here. So I'm going to put 1 tack and see if we can fine adjust it. Once I put my rod on there, I'm going to go ahead and lean it back down and let it cool while I'm holding it. Keep it flat. This, we could put this in here while it's tacked, this 1 tack. We spin that in there. Now, we could eyeball it. See, that's way better already. Woo. That's perfect. This thing's dying to be on the ground. So now that we like that right there, what we did, we put one tack on there and we installed it, and then we rotated it and we seen where the high and the low was, so I tapped it around and now it's pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's darn close. Well, that mild steel metal is clean. Man, it looks like stainless. Looks real nice. But I welded all this through the scaling, and it just kind of undercuts and welds really crusty and crappy, which I didn't care. It'd take so much to clean that off. It just ain't even worth it. So something like this, just wanted that to be clean and flat. So. Would be real nice. Ooh. It's magnetic. There's melting to it. Yes, you could adjust these and get that level. Once you get it level, so we're touching across here, well, we'll see. So I got a 60 thou gap on this side, and about a 50 thou gap on this side. So I could bop it with a hammer. It's closed it up a little bit. Boy, this one I don't like that at all. See, that's down to 30 thousandths now. Still got a gap here. Now I got 30 thou over here. So see, you could just, that's the cool thing about it, man, especially something that's stuck out with that big gap in there. It's going to bend quite easy. So beat it around, do some more welding, beat it around, get it the way you want. But like I said, you can get some mushier padding for your traction, and you can get it to where when it has all that weight on there, it'll sit down, it'll close that 30 thousandths right up. So I got two more to do. I got a little bit more welding to do on these here. A little bit more to do, and I'll finish those welds up. I'll finish the other side up since you've seen how we do it now. And I'll flip it over and show you some of the cross members. I'm only going to put maybe one or two cross members in there. I've got some more square tubing just to make it all look right. And then I'll go purchase the top boards for it, and hopefully we can plane it down by hand and see how it comes out, man. Hopefully we can get it looking good. And before we do all that, or after we do the boards, before we assemble it, I'll probably go ahead and either send this to paint or powder coat or something, but at least powder coat these so they don't scratch up real easy. But maybe a good enamel paint, I think that's what they call it. It should lock it in where it don't scratch too easy. But all right, well, thanks. If there's any questions or comments, just post them at the bottom, and stay tuned for Series 3. Enjoy your day.